Some dolls are meant to be played with. Others are meant to be left alone. It started with a dare. Emma had just moved into the old farmhouse on the edge of town, the one kids whispered about at school. The locals called it Halliwell House, though no one could remember why. Her best friend Chloe was the one who found the doll. They had been exploring the attic on a rainy Saturday afternoon, dust swirling in the air like tiny ghosts. In the farthest corner, beneath a sheet yellowed with age, was a wooden chest with rusted hinges. Inside lay the doll. She was unlike any toy Emma had ever seen. Her porcelain skin was flawless, except for a faint crack running down her left cheek. Her glass eyes were a pale, unnatural blue that seemed to catch the light no matter where you stood. She wore a faded lace dress, stitched by hand, and her tiny leather shoes were scuffed as if she had walked somewhere she shouldn't have. Chloe giggled. "She's perfect for your room." Imagine the Emma didn't like the way the doll seemed to look right at her, like it knew she didn't want to touch it, but she took it anyway, more out of stubbornness than curiosity. That night she placed the doll on her desk and went to bed. She dreamed of footsteps, small, deliberate ones creeping across her floor. In her dream, she opened her eyes and saw the doll standing by her bed, staring down at her. She woke in a cold sweat. The doll was still on the desk. The days after were stranger. Emma started noticing small changes in her room. Her pens would roll off the desk, and her hairbrush would be on the floor. Once she found her jewelry box open, a necklace draped neatly across the doll's lap. She told herself she was imagining it. Moving boxes, long school days, and the stress of a new town, it all added up. Until Thursday night. She had been studying when she realized the doll was no longer facing forward. It was angled toward her, its head tilted slightly. As though listening, Emma froze. She could have sworn she'd left it facing the wall after feeling unsettled earlier. She picked it up, turned it back, and left the room to grab water. When she returned, the doll was facing her again. By Friday, Emma decided she didn't want it anymore. She carried it to the attic and placed it back inside the chest, pulling the sheet over it. That night, she woke to the sound of something tapping. Not a rhythmic sound, more like tiny fingers drumming on wood. She turned on her lamp, her heart pounding. The tapping stopped. Then came the creak of her closet door. Emma's eyes darted to it. It was open an inch, swaying slightly as though something had just slipped inside. She forced herself to get up and close it, telling herself she was being ridiculous. When she climbed back into bed, her breath caught in her throat. The doll was sitting on her pillow. Emma screamed. Her parents came rushing in, but the doll looked harmless, just a toy in bed. Her father scolded her for waking them up and took the doll, setting it on the shelf. Emma didn't sleep. She kept her eyes on it, watching for any movement. Around 3 in the morning, her eyelids grew heavy and she dozed off. She awoke to the sound of porcelain tapping against her headboard. Slow, deliberate, she turned, and there it was, face inches from hers, glass eyes unblinking. Emma scrambled out of bed, knocking over a lamp. She grabbed the doll and ran downstairs, her mind fixed on one thing, getting it out of the house. She opened the front door and hurled it into the yard. The porcelain face cracked on the stone walkway, a sharp, satisfying sound. She slammed the door and locked it, her breathing ragged. The next morning, she checked outside. The doll was gone. She searched the yard, the driveway, even the street, but there was no trace. She told herself someone must have taken it during the night. 2 nights later, she was brushing her teeth when she heard something fall in her room. She walked in and froze. The doll was back sitting on her desk, its cracked cheek even more jagged than before. Emma's parents didn't believe her when she insisted it was dangerous. They told her to stop watching scary videos and focus on her studies. But the doll didn't just sit anymore. Emma would wake to find it in different parts of the room, on her windowsill, under her desk, once even inside her bed with the covers pulled over it. One night, she set up her phone to record while she slept. When she checked the footage the next morning, she nearly dropped the phone. At exactly 2:14 a.m., the doll's head turned slowly toward the camera, its mouth open not wide, just enough to reveal a row of tiny, jagged teeth that should not have been there. Then, it climbed down from the desk, moving stiffly but with purpose, vanishing off-screen toward the bed. The recording ended abruptly. Emma deleted the video. Some part of her knew that proof didn't matter. The doll wasn't something that could be explained or stopped. That night, she locked her door and wedged a chair beneath the handle. She lay in bed, covers pulled to her chin, listening for the sound of small footsteps. They came around 3 a.m., soft, slow, getting closer. She squeezed her eyes shut and tried to pretend she was asleep. Something cold and hard pressed against her cheek. And in the darkness, a tiny voice whispered, "Now we can play forever."